Unicorns and Other Fabulous Creatures by Heather Lowenberg. Illustrated by Roberta Collier-Morales. Unicorns. Unicorns are horse-like creatures with one horn that spirals up from their forehead. One touch of the unicorn's horn can purify water and make sick creatures healthy again. Unicorns are wild. They run very fast and are hard to catch. Who can hope to tame one? Only a young girl who is pure and good can hope to tame the wild, elusive unicorn. Elves. Elves look like tiny people. They love parties and dances, and they love to play tricks on humans. Sometimes an elf will follow a human to a quiet place and then repeat whatever that person says. The next time you hear an echo, look around closely. You just might find an elf. Dragons. Of all the creatures of myth and legend, dragons are the strongest and the smartest. Dragons differ in appearance and personality depending on where they live. Chinese dragons are the most civilized. They live underwater and guard the precious pearls of the sea. They bring good luck and wealth. European dragons are meaner and more dangerous. They breathe fire and eat people who try to steal their treasures. They kidnap maidens from nearby villages and take them to their caves. Only the bravest knights can conquer these dragons. Leprechauns. Leprechauns live alone in quiet places, preferring to be near old castles. They look like tiny men and have pots of gold, which are found at the end of a rainbow, and which they are very careful to protect. If you catch a leprechaun, he will give you 3 wishes. But keep your eyes open wide, for this tricky fellow can disappear in the blink of an eye. Gnomes. Gnomes, small creatures who live underground, have the power to go through solid rock as if it were air. Gnomes guard the gold and silver of the earth, but be careful if you meet one. They can be very grumpy. Phoenix, bird of the sun. There is only one phoenix. He flies all over the world, bringing peace and goodness wherever he travels. Then, after many years, he builds a great nest and sings a song so beautiful that all the animals stop to listen. When the nest is finished, the sun's rays set it on fire, and the phoenix burns to ashes. But the phoenix always rises from these ashes, a young bird who will fly all over the world, bringing peace and harmony until it is time for him to build his nest again. Griffin. With the body of a lion and the head and wings of an eagle, the griffin looks fierce. It lives high in the mountains in a golden nest, where it hides treasures it has stolen from humans. Mermaids. From the waist up, she looks like a woman, but from the waist down, she looks like a fish. Mermaids have power over the sea and can churn up storms and even tidal waves if they are angry. Sometimes a mermaid will lure a man to live with her under the waves. And sometimes a man who falls in love with a mermaid can turn her into a human by taking something that belongs to her, like a hat or a comb. The mermaid has to live with him on land unless she finds the object. Then she can return to her home in the sea. Hippocampus. The hippocampus is half horse, half dolphin. If you plan on going sailing, watch out. The hippocampus swims near small boats and tries to capsize them. Camp church. A camp church is a unicorn of the seas, with a horn on its head and webbed feet instead of hooves. Gremlins. Gremlins, commonly found in and around airports and airplanes, delight in causing mechanical problems. They wear green pants and red coats. The next time you visit an airport, keep an eye open for these little mischief makers. Brownies. No, they're not the chocolate kind you love to eat. These brownies are tiny men with brown faces and brown clothes. Brownies are very handy to have around the house because they love to do household chores. So if you see a brownie, don't eat him. He might help you clean up your room. Pegasus. Pegasus, a beautiful white horse with wings, is the only one of his kind. The ancient Greek prince Bellerophon once tamed Pegasus by using a magic bridle. Then, Pegasus helped Bellerophon fight many terrible monsters. Later, Bellerophon wanted to visit Olympus, the home of the gods, but Zeus, the king of the gods, sent a gadfly to sting Pegasus. Pegasus threw Bellerophon off and galloped on to Olympus alone. Sphinx. What animal goes on 4 feet in the morning, on 2 feet at noon, and on 3 at night? This is the famous riddle of the creature who has the face of a woman, the body of a lion, and the wings of a bird. She lived on a rock and spent her days asking passerbys the riddle. Those who didn't know the correct answer were gobbled up. Until one day a man named Oedipus came along. He alone knew the answer to her riddle. The Sphinx was so furious that she threw herself from her rock and was never seen alive again. Centaurs. Having the head, trunk, and arms of a man, and the body and legs of a horse, these mythical creatures live in caves and eat raw meat. Centaurs are very strong and can gallop as fast as racehorses. Fairies. Fairies have supernatural powers and live in a magical place called Fairyland. Fairies come in different sizes, and many of them have delicate wings. Now and then, fairies will take a human to Fairyland. It is very difficult to leave Fairyland once you are there. Even if you escape, you return to a changed world, because one day in Fairyland equals 10 years in the human world. So, if a fairy invites you to Fairyland, you should say, "No, thank you." Cupid. Cupid is a happy little boy with wings. He carries a bow and a quiver full of arrows. Cupid loves to shoot his arrows at unsuspecting people. Whoever the arrow strikes will fall in love with the next person he or she lays eyes on.